I may have been a little hasty in accepting an offer on these X-Mod remote control cars, as I sold quite a few last winter, but with slow sales this fall, I decided to, well, I went back and forth a number of times. Finally got $50 on this, which is half price. I had them priced at $100, which may have been a little bit high, but anyway, it's a 04 Mustang and a Acura NSX, plus this Mustang upgrade kit put out by X-Mods. Again, this setup sold for $50. This is a Marantz cassette player, model 5020. It's highly sought after. I picked it up a couple of years ago for just $2.50 at the auction, because nobody at my auction really bids on electronic. Unless it says Bose. Last night's auction, somebody spent over $250 on a Bose Wave system. I just don't understand that sometimes. In any case, I used this for a little bit and then the belt broke. And then it sat on a shelf, trying to get rid of projects instead of tearing this stuff down and wasting a lot of time. I put it up for sale for $130, and it sold in less than 24 hours. This is a tension pole lamp, mid-century style. Breaks down to fit in a box like that, but this is what it looks like. These are pictures from the listing. It's pretty plain Jane as far as it's just a beige pole with plastic translucent white shades, but the finials are wood. And I noticed that these tension pole lamps are starting to get a lot of money, so I put this up at $180, thinking that a couple of weeks from now I'm going to have to probably put best offer on it. But in less than 24 hours, it sold. $180. This is an HO scale caboose. This was a kit that was put together, nicely done. And although this took quite a while, still got $20 for it. Cabooses, compared to box cars and of course locomotives, don't sell for quite as much. This is a Yamaha brand CD player. I picked this up with some other stereo equipment that I thought was quite valuable, and this was just sort of a throw-in. And CD players, though, through research I found out are still popular, just the right brands, very, upper end brands like this Yamaha Natural Sound one. It's in good shape, tested it out, works just fine, and it's been up for sale for about 2 months at $80, which I know is very high for a single CD player. And I got an offer yesterday of $50 for it, and I took that. Another game piece from this 1962 Mousetrap game sold. This time it was the yellow wash tub. And this sold for $5. So after all the parts I've sold so far, this game has made me probably $30 to $40. I bought the game incomplete for $2. Actually, I didn't know it was incomplete until I got it home. And that's when I decided to part it out. These are 4 blank 8-track tapes. Still new, sealed in the packages. I've had these up for quite a while, and it's taken what I thought was a long time to sell, although one of them has a little broken tab there. The rest are in really good shape. And they finally sold after probably a year or more for $20 for these 4. Another train book sold. This one covering the Minneapolis Northfield Southern Railway. Hardcover book. This kitty tries to get up to the window. There you go. That's her spot when it's cold outside. And this book I had priced at $60. I love it when I get a very, very reasonable offer. The guy offered me $55. And I took that right away. This is a portable RCA Victor record player, stereo. Speakers kind of can be placed on top for storage or carrying. Somebody's interested. And I found this at a garage sale out by the curb. Here, Midgie. And it was free. And it was on a stand as well. And I quickly put it in my van before I even looked at anything else at the garage sale. This is what it looks like with the stand. Now, I also advertised this on Facebook Marketplace to include the stand, but for simplifying the shipping, I put the stand up separate on eBay. I've got a video demo on my YouTube channel that shows it in operation. I think that helps sell these quite well. I placed it up for sale for $150, kind of hoping for a lot on this. I did have to clean out the mechanism so it worked properly. The tone arm was kind of frozen, and I bought a new needle for it. It works very nicely now. And so I got an offer last night of $175 shipped to, I believe it was the East Coast anyway. And so I figured out what the shipping was going to be, and it's about $60. So I messaged him back with an offer minus the $60 for shipping, and he bought it this morning. I kind of overpacked this as usual. I've got it all wrapped in padding in a box, and then that's in another box surrounded by styrofoam sheets. Hi, Midgie. And so the weight came out a little more than I had anticipated. So I double checked with FedEx, and I can save about $25 shipping by FedEx. On these bigger items, that happens all the time. FedEx is usually the best, and that's just the home delivery, not Smart Post. So I saved a little money that way. This is a little Tonka brand Mustang. It's got a friction motor that really isn't working right. It's supposed to take off and go, but so I listed it as such, but the friction motor may not be working right. I priced it at $17, and about 45 minutes later it sold. This is a linear tracking techniques turntable. I actually bought one exactly like this in 1984 or 85, brand new from the store. And it was a great turntable. It has a couple of unique features. The tone arm is linear, meaning it's motorized and goes along with the record. But this is also programmable. It has a laser guided light in it, so it can pick out each track and you can choose which song you want to hear in which order. It's got some unique capabilities, although it wasn't really that expensive of a turntable. But in the used market, if it's working, they're selling. I priced this, I believe, at $180, and I took a best offer over the weekend for $150. This is the second of the two items I picked up while on vacation in Denver. And I picked this up for $12 at the thrift store. This is a vintage tackle box made by Kennedy. Kennedy Kit is the actual name. And this is a model TC14. It's kind of a small one, but it's got two drawers, and the hang tag is on it, as well as the keys and inspection tags, things like that. And it's kind of a cool little toolbox with a brown crinkle finish over the metal. And I got this at the auction for just $2.50, the opening bid. Although I was gonna, bid up to $6, $7 for it just because I thought it was worthwhile. It does have a little bit of wear. I associate this kind of wear with shelf storage, or shelfware, as they like to say with books. And but in any case, I priced it up there at 90 bucks. It only took a few days. Sure had a lot of action as far as watchers and views on it. So if you come across a Kennedy brand tackle box, it's well worth the time and effort. I picked up this jean jacket a couple of weeks ago. It's a Wrangler Hero. It's made in Bangladesh, so it's not vintage by any means. Good size, and it only took a couple weeks to sell. And I was able to get $40 for it, which is typical for your non-insulated run-of-the-mill jean jacket. But it's that time of year. This is a massager, vibrating massager. This style is usually, I've only found it made by the Genie Rub. But this is it's plastic. It's a little bit cheaper model as far as construction goes. But still the same style and idea. It did take probably about 8 months to sell this one. But I got $60 for it. It was $4 at a garage sale. Acuva. This is a vintage Ward's salon style hair dryer. Now there's a glut of these on the market. So normally I wouldn't pick these up, but it was a pretty blue and it was only $2 at a garage sale. Brought it home, plugged it in, worked just fine. Didn't take very much to clean this up at all. Ward's Signature. And it actually only took about a week to sell, and it sold for $25. These are 5 living letters. Back in the 60s and 70s, people often used to record on these little reels and send them home, oftentimes from the war zone in Vietnam. I didn't listen to these. I just acquired them as part of a box lot. And actually only 2 of them have actual tape on the reel. The other 3 are empty reels with their cases. And this lot of 5 sold for $15. I had them up for $20, and I took a best offer of $15. Another book purchase paid off. This is The Secret Garden by Francis Burnett. This is the second printing, but it's still a 1911 copy. And I was able to sell this for $40. These are 5 new VHS-C tapes. They're the small ones for those cameras from the 90s and early 2000s that used a smaller little cassette, and then in order to view it on a VCR you needed an adapter. And I've actually bought cameras and thrown the cameras out just because they had the adapter with them, and was able to get $30, $40 for the adapter. But in any case, these tapes, I sort of did a give up on an offer. I had them priced at, I believe, $20, and they've been up for well over a year. And somebody offered me $10 last night, and I just took it. At an auction over the weekend, it was one of those outdoor auctions, out of the shed they pulled out a bunch of brand new electronic components. They're old, but they're still new. These are panel meters made by Simpson. I bought box after box for like $2 and $3 a box, knowing that I would double my money on the box just by selling one item. And these 2 sold right away after I put them up for 20 bucks a piece, and they're going to Hong Kong. Another Harley hat I found at a garage sale, still new with the tag, got it for $1. This one features the sort of a blanked out bar and shield logo. Modern hat, and this sold for 20 bucks. Another train book sold. This is Remember the Rock, all about the Rock Island Railroad. Original price $13.95. Not a very thick book, but I was still able to get $20 for it. This is an Ico brand multimeter. I was able to test it out and it works just fine. Pretty clean. And it works. It didn't have any test leads with it, so I had to sell it that way. I think I priced it at $25 and I just took an $18 offer on it. It was probably $1 to $2 at a garage sale. I usually don't spend very much on these because I can find plenty. This is a vintage 1966 Peanuts diorama. See Charlie Brown and Lucy. Snoopy is missing out of this. I've had this up for like 2 years. I had a lot of watchers and views and such, but finally took a best offer of $18 for it. This is a pair of Danner boots. Danner, very high-end boot. I picked these up at a garage sale for just a couple dollars. I couldn't believe I bought a number of pairs of high-end boots from the same garage sale. And they took a shine real nice. They were pretty dirty. But I was able to sell these. I had to work the guy up. He offered me $50 off of the $80 asking price, and I got him up to $60 on them. This is a Premier Nash Healy model. The models aren't really that high quality, but if you can find them, they seem to be very collectible, especially one like a Nash Healy. A couple of extra parts in there. Original box, really nice to have with it. And I ended up selling this for $60. This is an HO scale locomotive. It's called a power shifter and tender. You'd think after selling so many of these train cars and locomotives, I'd know something about them, but I really don't know why this didn't sell for as much as some others. I mean, I priced it at $30 and took a best offer of $25. And again, this is probably because it's an older style that it's not as popular as the diesel electric locomotives that I've sold for $80, $90. Again, this one went for $25 on a best offer. Another book on boating, the art and practice of and enjoyment of boating, to be exact. This is the Complete Cruiser. Nice old hardcover book with a specific subject of boating, and I was able to sell this on a best offer of $15. This is a vintage record player turntable manual for a Garrard. It's a very old one, the Type A. This one is often found in console stereos as well as on their own. And I got this probably a year or so ago and put it up just about 3 weeks ago. There's quite a few manuals like this up for sale. So I took some really good pictures of it, and it sold for 12 bucks. Watch out, Norm.